Boys and girls, Alex back again with another useless bit of information. However, some people may find it interesting. I'm currently working on a cabinet to house all my puzzles that some of you may haven't seen. And what I'm wanted to do is get it off the ground onto this trolley so I can actually paint, when I say paint it, sorry, stain it. And to get that up there with my dodgy left arm, I just tried and couldn't do it. So the first thought was to hoist it up. My first thought was this chain block to lift it up. However, because of the profile of it, it's actually got quite a large bit up the top there to suspend it from. It would have been about that far. It needs, I should say, a clearance of about that much to function. Consequently, we'll move it back to the cabinet. You'll see it was not a practical solution. Okay, here we go. You'll notice I just haven't got the clearance. Once it's on top of that trolley that I wanted to lift it up onto, it just didn't have the clearance to hoist it up with that block and tackle. So what I finished up doing is I bought this Hitch Master 15 years or so ago at the wood show. I thought, look, I'll give it a try. But how do you attach the Hitch Master to it? And straight away my first thought was the grabbo. And here we have it, the grabbo attached, or the Hitch Master attached to the grabbo. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try and show you how I did it because bugger it, it's there, it's up. I don't particularly want to go through the exercise, but I'll show you how this Hitch Master works. You might find it useful. You might just turn this off and go and have a beer. For the demo, what I've done is just thrown some rope over one of my cross beams or rafters up there. And I'm going to just use this weight. Look, this is not going to demonstrate its capacity or its strength, but more so how you set it up and how it functions. In the background there you'll see the grabbo that I use for further information. I can't remember whether I did a video or not, but look at Izzy Swan, he gives you a pretty good idea of the grabbo. And for all you people out there, know that iron isn't there because I do my ironing down in the workshop. Is to get out all the dents in the cabinet that I've done while I'm playing around with it. The first thing to do is get around this bloody camera. God, I always grunt. A clove hitch, I believe it's a clove hitch, onto this just to secure it. I just hope I remember how to do a clove hitch. Voila, good God. Who says my scout training hasn't been done? Then what you do is you attach the two, oops, there's one, where's the other? The two Hitch Masters, hang on, let's get the camera, zip down on the Hitch Master and have a closer look at it. They're both the same, and I shall show you how you attach the first one. The first one you attach near the weight. I just hope you get this in. Let's see, bring the rope up. Now there's a little notch there. You put it in so the notch is like that. Look, you get this as close down to the weight as possible for no other reason, then you've got more rope to play with, and you'll see what I mean by that later. This goes around the back. You put a loop in there, and that's done. Now the next one is the same process, but you put it on the rope you're pulling down. You try and get that up as high as you can. Now hang on, let's see how much you can see. Oop. I'll zip out. Oops, that's zipping in. Here we go. Get that up as high as you can. If for no other reason, it gives you, more, let's get this right, more rope to play with, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The same thing there. Now, we'll see if you can see all that. The second one, you try and get up as high as you can, same principle. However, as I said, the higher you get it, the more rope you've got to play with. Do the hitch, and there you have it in that respect. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually bring it down a bit further so you can then see the two of them in perspective. Otherwise, you won't see what I'm doing over both hitches. Okay, off camera, I brought this down about as low as I need to. So let's attach it. This bit that's hanging down goes around the bottom loop. This goes around the top loop. Now, depending on how fancy you want to get, you can either loop this, well look, we'll do it this way for the time being. Bring this around here, hang on, like that, and like that, around, well no, I've got to get this right through there. Now, I mean that seems so simple, but the important thing is this one that you loop out goes outwards. Then what you do is you loosen that, or make sure you keep pressure on that. Bring this second top, the first top one, up over that. Then the other one, loose that hanging, you bring it up behind it and bring it down. And once you've done that, you've now got all your pulleys. Now, hang on, I'll just go and check, make sure you see everything you do, because this is where it now starts to get tricky. Yep, that's cool. Now, and you'll see why. This is why you need more distance between these pulleys. When you start pulling on here, this brings down on that rope there, and naturally, well, it hasn't all it's doing at the moment is stretching the rope. So what you then have to do is grab hold of that to take up the slack, and then pull this, and that's not hard even with the super heavy weight, because you've got pulley against pulley, you're not doing much weight. As you can see, that goes through there like that, and then you bring that down again. And you keep repeating that process until you get that to the appropriate height. Now, as you can see, this is a repetitive process. It's a pain to continually do. Whoops. Let's get this right. But, and again, I'm only doing a couple of inches at a time, only because I haven't had the distance. But there you have it. It's off the, well, it's off the table anyway, and holding up. Now what I'll do is I'll move this up much higher, and hopefully you get a better view of what's happening. Okay, back again. As you can see, I've attached it down the bottom there, and there you have it up the top. You know, it's quite a distance away, and hopefully you'll notice a difference in the play. Well, hopefully. Here we go. Hang on, I might have to bring this up a bit higher. Here we go. It's now a simple case of pulling on this rope, and as you can see, it's already down here. Still, you grab the two ropes. Oops. Come here. And I've got to get this right. No. Here we go. Yep. That's what we do. Till we're back up there again. Then again, it's more a case of lifting down, hold that up, pull this up. There you are. I haven't done this for quite a while, so I'm not as quick as I was. And then again, more down. As you can see, we're not travelling that far now. Oh look, don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near as efficient as your other chain block and tackle. And again, hold it, lift up, down. You could actually get into the swing of things, and that's it. Now, and that'd just about be the extent of what I've done. Now, what you could probably do is tie this off, move the block and tackle on the rope again, and do it. Actually, I don't even know how much of this you're seeing. Let's tie this off here. Pretend to tie it off anyway, and see if you're getting all that. Yeah, you are. Okay, that's cool. Look, don't get me wrong, it's not sort of like my first go-to piece of equipment. However, it's something I've always carried in the boot of my car. If I need to use it in the workshop, I'll get it. I've only had about, over the 14 years, maybe half a dozen times when I've needed it or had the opportunity to use it. Let's go that way. And all I know is it was much cheaper than to hire a tow truck or hire some other equipment to do things that yeah, and that's it. And of course, to lower it, it's not so difficult. As you can see, there's enough friction there to hold it on. Now, also, this is, I think, 10mm rope. In the car, I've got 12mm nylon, which tends to slip a little bit easier, with less friction resistance on there. But there you have it. And you can use this again to lower things, I suppose. Naturally, the heavier it is, the easier it'll move down. But look, that's it, boys and girls. You might think this is a load of shit. Fine. Nothing's forcing you to get it, but they're only a couple of bucks. When I say a couple of bucks, I think they're about 20 bucks or something like that. Which just to have as an emergency. Now, talking about that, and it's more the, how could I say, if you've only got one hand, when you've got limited use, or you've got to use it for whatever reason, that could it is quite heavy, but still. Or if the packet, the packaging, I'm just getting it, hang on. Comes with these two other little pieces. Hang on, I'll just turn this off, dismantle it and show you. Here they are, the two pieces. You also get with it, with the kit, in the kit, two smaller sets, which you can use for smaller rope, smaller projects, less weight. And it comes in this little camouflage pouch, specifically designed so that when you need it, you can't find the bloody thing. No, not true. Locks up, and there you have it. Just simple as that, but then the beauty of it is that thrown in with a bit of rope, you can then toss it into the boot of your car and forget about it. Hasn't cost you much. In fact, probably the rope is the most expensive part. Doesn't cost you much, but if you need it, it'll prove invaluable. As I said, I've got a $200 or whatever it is chain block that I couldn't use to lift this cabinet up. Here we go. Let's get back to the cabinet. I couldn't lift it up, and unfortunately with my dodgy arm, even using the grabbo, it would have been too hard within the confines of this area to somehow manipulate it onto that trolley. With this, the biggest hassle was to attach my chain block and realise it didn't work and then have to put it away, then to set this up, because once this was set up, oink oink. However, having said that, you saw how I shortened the rope and compensated, took up the slack. I did have to do that about five or six times by the time I got it up the top, which is an inconvenience. But anyway, boys and girls, that's it. Still, I wish to God I didn't have to say it. Keep safe, and hope 2022 is not a 2 of 2020, but a happier new year to all. Uru!